Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful province of Batangas on the island of Luzon in the Philippines. My name is Stanley, and along with my wife Jen, we are the Crumbs in the Philippines. It's a little bit overcast today. Want to thank everyone for joining us. As you can see, there's a beautiful papaya tree right over my shoulder across the street. It's full of papayas right now. We've been picking and eating mangoes on a daily basis. Really nice and fresh. They're very delicious. Today, we're going to talk about inflation and the effects of inflation on living in the Philippines. And also, we're going to share our monthly budget for the month of May and how that has been impacted by inflation. But first, we're going to ride out and get our motorcycle washed and have a bite of lunch. It won't take very long. We get right through it. But I just wanted to show everyone the type of quality that you can get at the car wash for a very cheap price. It's only 70 pesos. I always give the guy 100 pesos, and they're very appreciative. But you can only pay 70 pesos if that's what you want, which is just a little over $1. That's unheard of in the USA. But anyway, just hang with us, and we'll have a nice little slide at the end that breaks down our monthly expenses. And you can see how much they changed since last month, and we've actually added a couple of categories as we moved along and added some things to our budget. So stick with us, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Hello, everybody. This is our neighbor. And hello, neighbor. She came by to visit us today. What's your name?
My name is Jaylene Marin Lino.
All right.
If you want to call me short, Jaylene or Marin.
Ah, we call you Marin most of the time. And how old are you?
How old are you? Well, I didn't get a 6th birthday, so I'm now 6.
Good. 6 years old. So how long is it before you're going to school?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know yet? Does it start when you're 7, you think?
I don't know.
No problem. So what's your favorite TV show on the television? Yeah, look at me. What's your favorite TV show?
Hello Kitty.
All right.
Hello Kitty.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to talk about inflation and the effects of inflation on the cost of living in the Philippines. And to do this, we're just going to go through my monthly expenses for the month of May. We just received our electric bill yesterday, so that's the last thing I was waiting on to make this video. So just bear with me. I'll be referring to my notes as we go. And just for your information, there'll be a lot of graphics during the video. But for today, the exchange rate in the Philippines is 56.07 Philippine pesos to the dollar. and the inflation rate for the month of May was 6.1% in the Philippines. That was down from 6.6% the month before. And just from my experience last year, whenever the inflation rate was so high in the United States, the initial reaction that you have is that, oh, inflation's high in the U.S., that's going to affect me adversely in the Philippines. But you have absolutely, it has no impact on your buying power in the Philippines, no, regardless of the inflation rate in the USA. Okay? So we'll get started now. Our housing cost is fixed at the moment, and for the next couple of years, we'll be paying 30,000 pesos per year. And at the end of that term, which is in about 29 months, then we'll no longer have a housing payment while we live here. But we're at 30,000, which is today's rate is $535 and a nickel. Our electric bill, which we just received, was 4,326 pesos, or $77.15. Of course, this again was very high for Jen. She didn't like seeing that number, but for me, it's very reasonable compared to what I paid in the United States. I mean, I had a lot of comments after the last video that, oh, that's very high electric bill and mine's much cheaper in the USA, and that's fine. That's great. Everybody's different. Your needs are different. But for the month of May, Jen and I ran our air conditioner every day of the month for about 3 hours when we first went to bed at night. And it has an automatic shut off, a timer, and then for 2 hours every afternoon. So 5 to 6 hours per day for the entire month, we ran our AC. And May is typically the hottest month of the year in the Philippines. June is the start of what is called the rainy season. We've already seen that. It's starting to rain quite more often, and it also brings cooler temperatures. Not drastically cooler yet, but you can already feel it starting to come down. And once we get past the rainy season, Jen and I will no longer use our air conditioning at all until next year when the temperatures get hot again, which begin about March. So that's just that's in Lipa City where we're at a little bit higher elevation, and there are some other places throughout the Philippines at high elevation where those temperatures are cooler and you can save on air conditioning. Okay. Our internet cost, which is also fixed, we have 3 months left on our contract, and I'm pretty confident that we're going to go a different route than what we're doing now. I'm the service is okay for what we have, but the price, it's way overpriced compared to the other providers. But of course, we don't have the ability to use the other providers at this time, but we're kind of working on that through the homeowners association here in this subdivision. So our internet cost was 3,162 pesos, which is $56.39. Our water, it's the same every month. It's 282 pesos, or $5.03. And that's the water that we use for the shower, to wash dishes, to water the plants, stuff like that. It's not, we don't use it for drinking or cooking because it's not, you shouldn't do that in the Philippines. So with that being said, our drinking water, we had to refill 5 times in the month of May at 30 pesos a pop. So that was 150 pesos, or $2.68. Our LP gas for cooking, we just bought a bottle and the price actually went down from 900 pesos for the bottle. We've paid 800 for our second bottle. But I left our monthly cost the same at 300 pesos per month, which is $5.35. Our gas for the Airblade, our motorcycle, was 622 pesos, or $11.09 for the month. As you can see, if you follow along with our vlog, we do quite a bit of riding. We get out and ride quite a bit, and $11 a month. It might be a little higher next month because of we took two really long trips, long relative to the Philippines, not compared to what I was used to in the U.S. But so our gas might go up slightly, but that was one of the main things that pushed me towards buying a motorcycle in the Philippines as opposed to a car was the cost of fuel. Our food bill this month was 17,578 pesos or $313.50. We do the majority of our shopping at the wet market, and we've shown you videos of both the Lipa and the Ibaan wet markets where you can find some really good deals on food. And if you get to know the vendors and you're picky, you can always get stuff at the peak of freshness, which is what we shoot for. And Jen's a very good shopper, and she knows how to work the vendors there very well. Our restaurant cost this month was 1,931 pesos or $34.44. And again, if you followed the vlog, you'll notice that we spend the majority of our time eating at local establishments where the prices are very, very reasonable. Whenever we eat lunch out, unless we just happen to be in the mall and we eat at a name brand place like a McDonald's or a Big's Diner or a Savory, which are a little bit upscale, we normally only spend 200 pesos for both of us to eat lunch, and we're both satisfied when we're done. The food is delicious, and I'm kind of partial towards Philippine food. I really enjoy it. As a matter of fact, I don't really miss a lot of the Western foods to begin with, other than the availability of like really good salad fixings like the lettuce. That's kind of hard to come by here, but all of the other vegetables are very fresh and delicious, and we use them quite often in a lot of our recipes. I have a miscellaneous cost down here of 500 pesos or $8.92. For us, miscellaneous is like when we run out to get a cappuccino or we go up to the 7-Eleven and get a little cup of soft serve ice cream, which is 20 pesos for a 12-ounce cup when it's really hot, or we get a hollow up at the store. All of these things are very cheap and they're quite tasty. For Jen's Social Security, we restarted that again. And she paid into Social Security for quite a few years before we met and before I came to the Philippines. And she's only 9 years away from being able to draw Social Security. So what we went into the Social Security place and found out what we needed to do to reestablish her in order to be able to receive the benefit when she turns 60. And we took the option of paying 650 pesos per month or $11.59 a month. And as we get closer to that, for those of you guys that hang around for that many years, I'll let you know how much that benefit will be for Jen on a monthly basis. And I've taken several different steps to ensure that Jen is taken care of after I'm gone. And I just want to make sure that she's able to live a decent life. And Social Security would be one of those things. And buying this house was another. It'll just leave her a nice asset that she'll have when that time comes. And there's several other things that I've done as well, and we'll talk about those later. Health insurance. I'm going to put a link in the description box. We did an entire video talking about health insurance. And if you want to know, I'm not going to go in detail describing what I do for my health insurance because it's a very unique situation that I just kind of backed into in a lucky way with a health savings account that I started many years ago. But for Jen, for the time being, we put her on the Phil Health Insurance, and the monthly premium is 350 pesos per month or $6.24. I didn't include our cell phones this month because Our load that we had remaining at the beginning of May was enough. It lasted the entire month of May. So probably here in this June, we'll have to reload our phones, and I'll add that into our expense report for next month. So that left us with a grand total this month of 59,851 pesos, or $1,067.43. And that's fairly average month for us since we moved into this house. I know that when we lived in our other place here in Plantation before we bought this one, when our rent was only 13,000 pesos a month, our monthly expenses were down in the $800 to $850 a month range. And whenever we finish paying this house off, I feel pretty confident that we're going to be down around $600 a month for all of our expenses because we won't have a housing payment. And I'll be pretty happy with that. It'll give us the opportunity to get out and travel quite a bit more and see a lot more of the Philippines. And that also, we took a couple of trips in early June that we've already made videos about, and those will have to be included in our expenses next month as well. But we don't actually have a travel budget per se that we put aside for that. If we want to go somewhere, we just go, and we deal with that as it comes. But as you can see, when we went to Tagaytay, it's very reasonable to go out and take a 2 or 3 day little mini vacation. And if you live in an area like Lipa, which is very central to Batangas, you can go to the mountains, to the waterfalls, to the beach, all within just a couple of hours drive on the motorcycle. Some closer than others. Matter of fact, we have an excursion planned to go to a really nice waterfall up in the Laguna province, which is a province that's due north of Batangas. But it's less than a 2 hour drive to the waterfall. So we're really looking forward to sharing that video with you guys. Anyway, we really, really appreciate you guys that have been watching our videos. And those of you that have subscribed, many thanks. It makes it worthwhile. We really enjoy making these videos. We're going to try very hard to improve the quality of the video content itself. I ordered a camera from Amazon. It should arrive around June 20th. One of the things that I was really happy to see that happened just recently within the last few months, at least that I became aware of it, is that Amazon has free shipping to the Philippines for a lot of products in their store. Some things you have to pay customs and import fees, but I just bought a camera from there and it was free shipping to the Philippines, and I was very happy with that because the customs and import fees were only $22. So that worked out really nice for me. And it's they do have an equivalent to Amazon, I would say. It's called Lazada. We also have Shopee, which you can buy a lot of Eastern products, but the majority of things that you buy on those are coming from China. And sometimes you don't quite get what you expect when you order from Lazada. So if you do use that service, I recommend using the COD, like because they do have COD available for every delivery, and that way you can inspect your parcel and refuse to take it if you're not happy with what's inside. And Lazada's they're pretty helpful in that situation. They don't really have any issues should you do that. Anyway, we thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.